Hi, crafty friends. It's Elizabeth from BB's Butterfly, and today I have a very special project to share with you. It's a project share and tutorial, if you will. I have been working on Christmas decorations, or Christmas gifts, I guess. And so I made these captured fairy in a jar gifts for someone very special. And I don't know if you can see these, but I'll just show it to you. So these are my fairies in a jar. And so I'm going to show you how I did that. But these are the cutest thing I have ever seen. They are very special because they have my nieces and my nephew. And so I'm going to show you how I did it with the picture of my oldest niece. And what I have is I got these these jars at Hobby Lobby. I think they were regular $2.99, but they their glass storage was on sale for half off. So, you know, $1.50, can't beat that. And so I also altered a tiny little miniature domino. And there are lots and lots of tutorials on how to alter dominoes, but these particular dominoes I got at the Dollar Tree, and they're the mini ones. They come in a package like this, and they're teeny tiny, which is pretty awesome because the full-size domino does not fit in this jar. So if you're going to do a full-size domino, you should choose a jar that has a larger opening. If I can find my big domino. Oh, I was working on something else, but yeah, they don't fit. So I was very sad that I couldn't do a bigger one, but there are, again, lots of tutorials on how to alter dominoes. And what I did is I colored it with some StazOn ink. And the StazOn that I used was actually the Timber Brown. But whenever I put the, I used Deco Art's liquid glass to adhere the picture, it turned the ink green, which is kind of weird, but kind of awesome at the same time because it then goes with the whole theme of the fairy. And then these little wings, I printed, or I stamped. I got these stamps. They're Momenta stamps. I got them at Tuesday morning. But they have this little butterfly. And for my nephew, I used a dragonfly. There's the dragonfly. And I stamped them onto photo paper, and then I colored them in with my Bic markers. And then I used a wink of Stella on the wings to give them just kind of some extra shimmer. And then for the bead, I had some beads in my stash and some little sparkly in my stash, and I thought, you know, that would be kind of cute in the bottle, and then when the light hits it, the little bling will catch the eye. And then it's kind of neat just to have something hanging. So what I did for the hangers is I just took two, what do you call these? Eye pins. Actually, I took one eye pin and I cut it in half because they were really long, and it was longer than the domino, but not long enough to have the eye holes on each end. So I just snipped it in half and created another eyelet on the other end. And then I glued it down with glossy accents. Sorry, when I was doing this, I kind of wasn't thinking it. My creative brain just went. And then I hot glued this burlap tape to the back, and I stuck the wings inside. I'm not terribly concerned about the back of what it looks like as far as the white wings. It just looks like, you know, wings. I could have stamped on the back too. that probably would have been awesome, but too difficult for me. So I'm just going to go through the process and show you what I did to get these inside and decorated. And it is kind of a pain, but we're going to go with it and see what happens. The hard part is getting the pictures to show in the right direction once you have all the stuff inside. So what I have is, of course, my glass bottles and some of my paper flowers from I Am Roses. And I'm going to probably spray them with some of my Tattered Angels in Iridescent Silver, just to give them a shimmer. Not really trying to change the color, just a little shimmer, something. I also have, and I'm probably not going to show this, I'll take a still picture when I get them all finished, but I got these little bottles in the jewelry department, or the bead and jewelry section at Hobby Lobby. And they're just little vials, and I put some glitter, some fairy dust, because I have, since I'm making captured fairy jars, I thought some little fairy dust hanging off the side, and then I'll do a little tag with their names on it and what their names mean and things like that. Like I said, I'll do a still picture once I'm finished. So the first thing I'm going to do is, since it takes a little while to dry, I'm going to glue my eye pin into my cork so that I have a hanger to hang the chain from, to hang the domino from. So the first thing I do is I take a funky tool of some sort. I'm sorry, I'm getting out all my tools, because you're going to need something long to shove the sticks down into. So I'm just going to poke a hole in the center or thereabouts so that I can get my head pin through there. And then I'm going to take my glossy accents. Sorry for the arm in your face. And I'm just going to put some glossy accents on the pin itself so that there's glue down in the hole to hold that in. And I'm just going to stick it down in the hole I made as far as I think I can get it. There we go. And just some glue around the tip, or around the where the eye pin goes in. If I can get my glue. This bottle is almost dead. All right. Oh. Grab a baby wipe. Don't mind the mess. Gotta grab my wipes. I have quite a bit of trouble with this particular bottle's nozzle getting all gunky on me. All right. So now I'm just going to set that aside so it can be drying. And I'm going to put my chain on my domino. Maybe. Grab my little pliers here. Sorry, you probably can't see anything that I'm doing. And close that back up. So when it hangs, it'll hang in the bottle off of the little cork, like so. Or something like that. Alright, I'm going to let the cork dry, and I'll just set this aside while I put together the twigs. And I got this Excuse me. I got this bundle of twigs. It came in a big, huge bundle at Joann's. It was on clearance, so I don't even know how much I paid for it. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to, when it's all decorated, you're going to shove the whole thing down in the jar like that. It's a trick to get it in there because there's a lot of stuff on it, and you got to kind of squish it. But the first thing you're going to do is take some floral moss, and we're going to glue it to the bottom of the jar. And you don't need a lot. That's probably way too much. What you also need is something really long so that you can push down the moss once it gets done, once you get the moss and glue and everything done in there. So I'm just going to tear this apart a little bit. Yeah, that's going to be way too much, because really, like, that is probably all I need. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a nice layer of hot glue on the bottom of the jar. And this is very, very tricky. You don't want to touch the sides of the jar with glue, otherwise you're not going to get it off. You don't want to tilt the bottle, otherwise, with the nozzle of the hot glue gun down in there, because you will get glue on the side. And then it's a pain to get off. So you just want to set your bottle down, take your hot glue gun, make sure your glue is hot, and you're just going to put the tip of the glue gun into the jar, like so, and just squeeze glue into the bottom of the jar. And when I say squeeze glue, it's probably going to take a stick and a half. You want to be, again, kind of careful, because you don't want the glue to like swirl off to the side and get on the side of your jar. All right, and then whenever you got a nice big glob of glue down in there, just wait till the little string kind of dissipates. Pull straight up, take your fingers and grab the string and just pull it off really quick so that you don't get any glue strings on the sides of your jar. All right, and then you're going to take your moss and you're just going to kind of take pieces and shove it down in the jar. And I'm probably going to need a little bit more. However much you think it's going to take. And then you just take something long, and I'm just using these forceps things. I stole them out of my husband's desk. I don't even think he knows they're gone yet. And you just start shoving the moss to the bottom. And it is kind of tricky because if you get glue on your pokey instrument, you're going to, if you get glue on the bottom of your pokey instrument, then you're going to get your moss stuck to your pokey instrument. So you just kind of shove and push until you get the moss into the bottom of the jar. And because this is glass, it holds heat, so your glue isn't gonna like cool real fast, which gives you a little bit of extra play time to get the moss shoved down in the jar. like that. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, so now you have something that looks like that. Okay, and we're going to set that aside to cool so that it all hardens and your moss really gets stuck down in the bottom of your jar. Okay. So I'm going to clean this off. And then I'm going to start working on my bundle of twigs. All right. And you don't need a lot. Just, you know, just a nice little bundle. I think in one of them I only had, let's see, there's 2, 4, 5 in that one. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that one. So, you know, we'll take, that counts as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I kind of like these curly ones just because they add some extra craziness in the bottom of the jar. All right, so what you need to do is make sure, I think I'm going to use this end because I like this one right here, although that may be hard to get in the jar. But what you want to do is make sure that they're all evenly on the bottom so that when they go in the jar, they kind of sit a little bit even. The other thing you want to do is measure, because it's a cork that's in there, so the cork has to be able to go down in the jar. So however long your sticks are, just go right to the bottom of where the bottom of the cork is. So it can't be, you know, too long. And to do that, basically I just take my jar and take my twigs and go, okay, the bottom is here, so I probably need to wrap just below that. So probably right about there. And if it's too long, you'll have a little bit of a squish problem. And if it's too short, then you're going to have a gap up here. So I'm just going to wrap like that, and then we're going to cut those extra twigs off once we get them down in the jar. So to wrap them, I have some twine. This is actually the burlap twine that came on the bundle, and you just need a little bit because you're just going to hot glue it to your twigs. And I probably cut that a little bit too short, maybe not, so that you get, you know, 1 or 2 good wraps, just so that it holds it tight at the top and your bottom can still be moved around just a little bit. So we're going to go with that. And what I'm going to do is just put some hot glue right around there. Take my twine. This is tricky because it's hot. And I'm just going to wrap it. And then you're going to have to hold it just until it starts to cool. All right. Next thing you're going to do is glue your flowers to your twigs. And to do that, you want to kind of pick where your front is based on how the sticks stand. And I think I want this to be my front. So when it stands, it kind of leaves this opening. And so I'm going to use this as my front, and I'm going to put flowers around so that whenever I hang my charm, hopefully, it will hang in the center, like so. So I'm going to put flowers down here and up at the top so that my dangly is kind of supported by the twigs. So it'll look something like that. So with that in mind, you just want to make sure that you don't, oh, it won't matter. Just be mindful of where your charm is going to sit. So what I do is I just lay it down and I snip off all the stems. I'm having trouble with words. I snip off my stems because I don't really need them. All right, so I cut off all my stems. And now I just start gluing them on wherever the inspiration strikes. Now I'm going to save a couple of these for the tops after I wrap the top with burlap. So I think I'm going to save that one and probably that one and probably that one and probably a couple of these little rosebuds. All right, that looks good. So these are the ones I'm going to stick to my twigs. So here is, no, that didn't take us very long. And I have glue strings everywhere. Sorry. So that's my little insert for my jar. Pretty simple, pretty easy to do. And so I think I'm actually going to do maybe one more up here at the top. I don't know how well you're going to see it, but I'll know it's there. All right, so now I'm going to just mist it with my Tattered Angels. This one is Iridescent Silver. And I just want a little bit of a sparkle to it. I'm not changing colors or anything. And that's good right there. All right. So let me wipe up the excess here. Uh-oh, I didn't mean to throw that away. I meant to save it for a minute. All right, let's see how our cork is doing here. Uh-oh, I left it in the jar. All right, that's pretty good. It's stuck pretty good. So I'm just going to attach my charm. My little butterfly fairy Emma. Close that back up. All right, so in order to do this, you need to put the charm in the jar. I mean, if you have wings on it or something, you need to put this part in the jar first and then shove this part through it. That's the trick. So, in order to get it in the jar, you kind of have to fold her little wings to make her fit. So we're going to drop her in just like that. And see, that would be cute all on its own, you know. And actually, I think that is going to be a tad too long because it doesn't swing freely. So I need to cut a little bit off. So I'm going to have to undo this. Now, if I remember, I did chop off about 6 little links from the other ones. Sorry, I know you guys are tired of seeing my arm. There we go. Now she swings. All right. Throw that in my junk box. Okay, so now we need to see how well this fits in there and then chop off the top part that is going to stick out. So here's the tricky bit. You squeeze all this together very gently so that you don't break any of it or rip up your flowers. And you just start shoving it in the bottle. So now what I do is I got some of this burlap tape from Walmart, and I think I found it in the floral section. So I'm just going to measure around my jar, and then I'm going to cut it in half. And I'm going to use one piece around the bottom and the other piece around the top. And this is tape, so it's already got adhesive on it. Oh. And I just want to make sure the seam is in the back. I just wrap it around like so. Cut off the little bit of excess that's there. Like so. And then measure around the top. And this time I want the seam in the front. Okay. Well, that's not in the front, is it? Because this is the front. Like that. And then I'm going to glue some flowers on. All right, and now we have another captured fairy in a jar, just like so. All right, like I said, when I put the finishing touches on it, I'll post some still pictures for you, so you can see what the final product looks like. But basically, I'm going to put these in a wooden box or a wooden tray, so that there's 3 of them, and you can't see, so it will look something like, don't spin around, little dragonfly fairy. There we go. So they're going to be in a wooden tray like this, and I'm going to put live, laugh, love, and then I'm going to hang a little tag with their name on it and their little bit of fairy dust. So there you go. Captured fairies in a jar. Or just captured fairies. Either way. And I think they're going to be super cute. So, all right. You guys have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.